Welcome to Canada's podcast.
This podcast is brought to you by Schneider Electric, supporting Canadian businesses with innovative energy management and automation solutions. Schneider Electric, your digital partner for sustainability and efficiency.
Hello and welcome to Edmonton's podcast with Mario Toneguzzi on Canada's Podcast Network. Joining me today is Vanessa Marshall, who is CEO of Jack 59 in Edmonton. Thanks for joining us today, Vanessa.
Thanks for having us, Mario.
Well, tell me what Jack 59 is and what you do.
All right. Jack 59, we're a sustainable company. So we focus on sustainable hair care. We do have some other body care items that we make. We love to create new items that are sustainable. We have a little bit of some of our items are available for refill if we have a packaging that we can't eliminate 100%. So we try to put the actual goodness into the sustainable products so that it's an easy transition for people to lower their carbon footprint.
So things like shampoos and conditioners, that type of stuff?
Yeah. And we're actually, we have a few new items that are in the works. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of one of them because they're super cute. So this is like a packaging, a typical packaging that we would have. It's just a paper packaging. So we have 4 hair masks. So they're a little heart. And so you'll get 4 of them in there. It's super top secret still. So we have hair masks, leave-in conditioner. We are just about to release a couple body wash bars. We have a hair oil treatment. We have lots of goodies. We're coming up with some dog shampoos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We actually, one of our creations that I'm really proud of is our shower container. So it's actually, it looks like it's plastic and the lid becomes the base, but it's actually 100% home compostable. So it's made out of sugars and starches, and eventually it will just biodegrade.
When did Jack 59 start?
So we've been around since about 2015, early in 2015. It took me a little while to get my focus onto what I actually wanted to make. I dabbled in all kinds of beauty products, lotions, bath bombs, whatnot. But it was my own personal experience actually that got me into the hair care, really the shampoo bars. The shampoo and conditioner bars are our main focus. That's really what that's our main product. That's what we love to always, offer to people and keep improving it as we learn.
So how did you start it? Why? What was the reason for beginning this journey?
So in the very beginning, I'm actually a dental assistant by trade. Oh. So my child was in daycare all day, and I had gone to the University of Alberta to do pre-med to be a dentist, but I went to go visit an old dentist and realized they were in the same doing the exact same things in the same office, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't live with that. It wasn't something that I'm kind of an adventurous spirit. I need to have change and creativity in my life, and it just wasn't going to happen. So I actually just went back to dental assisting, and then eventually I just quit. I called my boss and said, I'm not coming back. I can't do this anymore. So I got to have my daughter at home, but then I got bored and I needed to come up with something. So this really made sense for me. I love the creativity. I have doing the pre-med gave me a lot of chemistry background. So it was also very intriguing to know, to kind of dabble into what other people were doing and realizing this could be done better. So, and then eventually a few years into the business, when I really started to focus on the hair care was because we were actually traveling and I had a shampoo bar with me from another company. And it drove my scalp bonkers. It was terrible. I was itching. I was so annoyed. So we actually had to go purchase some, liquid shampoo, and then it really made me kind of okay, what's happening here? Why is this, so irritating? So it literally took me a matter of maybe 10, 15 minutes of research, and I knew instantly what was the problem. So, and I kind of had that aha moment. This is it. This is the product that I want to make and improve. And I couldn't find an option in the world that was focused on the hair care as opposed to just the sustainability portion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, it became Jack 59. And I say that's when we truly began, because that's when my passion really became apparent for the products. So yeah, that was how we came about.
So tell me, like, where does Jack 59 come from? What does that name signify?
Right. So when we started, so before we started, I should say, we lived in Northern Alberta, a very rural area, and the little dog came out of the forest, and he was not doing great. He was starving. He had hitchhikers all over him, and my daughter, who was 4 at the time, convinced me to take him in and fix him up. So we did. And, I was like, we're not going to keep him. We're going to take him to the pound when he's all fixed up. Of course, that didn't happen. So I said, you need to pick a name for him. And she just blurted it out, Jack 59.
Oh, wow.
I was like, interesting name for a dog. Makes me wonder where the other 58 were. But but yeah, so that little puppy, though, didn't stick around. Kind of pulled a little hobo and left us.
Oh, wow.
That day. So like literally that she named him and then he was gone, and she was heartbroken. She cried. I'm not kidding, for probably 2 weeks straight.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was a terrible situation. We searched for him, but we couldn't find him. So it's very common in the rural, in those towns, for dogs to just kind of wander away and then wander back home. So we hope that he was doing fine and all. But years later, when we started the company, we were looking for a very unique name. And she kind of came up to us all like, sulky, and said, can we just use the name Jack 59 so that we can remember him forever? And at first I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with that? But when I started processing it, it really sounded like a name that belonged in a salon. And really, that's where we wanted to focus on was true professional hair care, salon quality. So we kept it, and it's grown ever since. And I'll actually give you a little tidbit, a little inside information. So we're actually releasing a sub-brand right away called Mila by Jack 59. So my daughter, throughout COVID, has experienced some mental health issues and challenges and some anxiety through just, not being with her. She's 11 now. So just being away from her friends and stuff has created some issues. So we put her into counseling, and she's doing great. She's doing really well, but we got her a little emotional support puppy. So, and she's tiny. She's a little tiny black puppy. She's half Shih Tzu, half Yorkie, and she named her Mila. So we thought it was really fitting that we did the sub-brand with her new puppy. So yeah, it's going to be some accessories. We're going to have some hair care, some scrunchies, some towel wraps, some really fun products in there. So we'll be releasing that probably, it's going to be a little while, maybe a month or two still, but yeah, new things coming.
At Schneider Electric, we empower Canadian businesses to utilize energy and resources efficiently. Schneider Electric, the future of energy.
And just to let people know, we are taping this interview on May 28th. So it'll appear at a future time, but I'm sure that that stuff will be out there at that time. Tell me what you like about being an entrepreneur, Vanessa.
Being an entrepreneur, it's an amazing feeling. You work twice as hard. Yep. You have twice the amount of stress that you would have at a normal job, but the rewards are beyond anything that I can describe. Now we're getting into a part where there's like a financial aspect that can be, up and down. You really have to have a certain type of personality to really be able to jump in and take some risks that maybe the average person wouldn't take. So, maybe I'm a bit of a addictive personality. So having those kind of little adrenaline rushes and like, we're going to do this, and you get into creating a product, and it's super exciting. Then there's another aspect of it where we've actually grown this amazing team of women. So that is super important to me. As a woman, in working in the world, while I went through having children and whatnot, I've lost positions in my life just because my husband was the breadwinner. If we had a sick child, I was the one who had to stay home.
Yeah.
Especially in the dental field, there's not much leeway. There's no patience or compassion for that. So yeah, I'm able to provide them with, a stable work environment where we can become a team and, and make decisions together. I love having their involvement. And then we also have the opportunity where if somebody needs to take the day off, they can take the day off. And I don't have to be like, I'm not, I don't need anything. If you need the day off, you tell me you want the day off and you can have the day off.
Yeah.
And the girls, people are like, well, don't they take advantage of that? And it doesn't really happen, because when you enjoy being at your job, you'll take the time you need and you'll be here, for the rest of it. So it's amazing. It really is amazing.
What is, when you look at your journey in this entrepreneurial world, what areas kind of helped you along that path? Like, were there people that gave you advice and certain pieces of advice that you remember the most or that resonated with you?
Absolutely. My father was an entrepreneur most of my life. My sister is an entrepreneur. My brother is an entrepreneur. So my whole family really are entrepreneurs. So that's always kind of been ingrained in me as to, that is a potential lifestyle. Other women, I follow a lot of other companies. So I'm actually Métis. So my mom is full Cree. So I follow and listen to a lot of other Aboriginal women entrepreneurs. To name a couple, there's one in particular, the owner of Satya Organics. She's an amazing lady. She does speeches. I'm in a group of women called the No Women. I don't get to participate as much as I'd like to because I'm very busy, but really finding your people, finding like-minded women, really not taking no for an answer. There's, I think there's also just a personality type that I don't often talk about this, and I don't like this to be a focus, but I actually have a background in addiction. And so through my dealings with that, those personality traits can really be turned around, and they can really be put into a positive aspect. So really that's what happened. And I talk about having an addictive personality. It kind of helps because you really want to, when you find something that's positive and you focus that energy towards it, you can really, you have the tenacity and the drive to get it done. And that is a very unique characteristic for an entrepreneur. So
no, that's it. That's interesting. So I'm curious, your other family members, what kind of businesses did they have?
Yeah, for sure. So my dad owned an electrical company for most of my life. And so my husband actually did his apprenticeship through my father. So now my husband is also an electrician. My sister owns a coffee shop in High Prairie, Alberta. So that little shop is called Fresh Inspirations. It's a gorgeous shop. She's an amazingly creative woman. So she's very passionate about that. And my brother is in the oil field industry. So he has a couple businesses. He has a picker truck and he does some lumber and whatnot. He has a little mill and so very, very prosperous companies for sure.
Yeah, so it's obviously quite nice and great to have people close to you that are sharing kind of the journey with you, right? And
yeah, absolutely, because there's challenges that that, if you're not an entrepreneur, you wouldn't understand it. And there's also passions that you get to share that other people don't necessarily understand, right? So sometimes my husband is like, you're talking about the things that make me super excited about the business. So yeah, it's great to have that support. And yeah.
What are do you think, since you started the business, what have been the biggest challenges you've faced being an entrepreneur?
Well, so one of the biggest challenges is definitely financial. I mean, in order to expand and grow a company, you need to have that, capital income. So I've been very fortunate because I'm Métis in Alberta. There's a company called Apita GoSan. So they offer business loans, and part of that is a grant to entrepreneurs who are doing businesses in different. I believe there's different categories and whatnot, but
yeah.
So we've actually been fortunate to be accepted for a couple loans to go through our expansion. So a portion of that is a grant, which I'm forever grateful for, because it was really our kickstart that really got us started. So yeah, that definitely is one of the biggest challenges. I mean, it is what it is. You need money to expand, and that, so yeah, very grateful for that. I mean, there's always challenges, I guess, knowing how to grow and knowing at what rate to grow. That's a really big challenge. And we're, when it comes down, so I have a wonderful team. We have a social media team. We have a media team. I have the team of girls here, but often I'm still wearing a lot of hats. So
yeah,
but I always wanted to keep, there's two parts that are super important to me of this company. One of them is the person-to-person communication with our clients and our customers. I always wanted to be on that front line. So if any person who purchases one of our products has something that they need, questions or feedback, or something's not 100% working for them, I want to be that person to answer that question. If they can call me, I put my phone number everywhere, so that, because I wanted that. Isn't it the most frustrating thing to, to love a product, but you have an issue and you can't talk to somebody about it. You don't get a response. It's the worst feeling ever. So I always wanted to maintain that. It is a little challenging time-wise, but I will do that for as long as I can and as much as I can. And the other challenge is I still formulate all of our new products.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's, we have to go through working out the formula itself. We have to go through the testing. And then I actually have to go through creating the packaging for that, because there's a lot of technical names and stuff that, I haven't incorporated somebody into my team yet to do that. It's like giving away little pieces of your babies. So I haven't been able to give that one away yet.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we overcome all of our challenges and we grow and move on, and new ones come along.
Well, new ones come along, and we've had a big one here in the last year or so, right, with the pandemic. I'm just curious of, Vanessa, what do you think you've learned as a business owner throughout this year and a bit through the pandemic?
One of the biggest things is really to trust myself. We have had some consultants come on board. I'm all about getting feedback and listening to people in groups and whatnot, but I've also had gut feelings about certain things, and I listened to other people, and I feel like those were some of our biggest mistakes. So it's staying true to myself and where I want the company to go is really important. That I learned that through, because so when COVID hit, we really had to pivot. We really had to pivot. We didn't have any packaging in the very beginning. And I wanted to keep it like that because our focus is, sustainability. We don't, that wasn't our intention. But we have probably 150 retail locations across Canada.
Oh.
And some of our retailers were finding that people were not trusting our product in the sense that they didn't want to touch it, or they thought somebody else maybe touched it because there was no packaging.
Oh, I see.
So that was one of our biggest COVID challenges. Is we really just we dove in. We created paper packaging for all of our products. So we did a rebrand at the same time. We brought on an amazing branding company called Curio Studios. They're a fantastic company. They're actually doing the new branding for our sub-brand Mila now. So yeah, I mean, we were super fortunate. People started focusing more on buying local through COVID. So we had great push from all of our local people supporting us. We did the rebrand, and we are one of the fortunate companies that we increased our staff from 3 staff members to now have 8. So yeah, I mean, we've been very fortunate through COVID, and again, all new challenges, but we're here and we're doing great.
You're happy you didn't get into the dentistry area then.
Right. There's a lot of dentist offices getting closed where we are here. So
yeah. A wise and career choice, obviously.
And I can't imagine my spirit if I was, I'm happy. It was a great choice for sure.
Super. Well, thanks a lot for joining us today, Vanessa. That was great.
Thank you, Mario. It was a pleasure. Absolutely.
Okay, super. That was Vanessa Marshall, who is CEO of Jack 59 in Edmonton. This has been Edmonton's podcast with Mario Toneguzzi on Canada's Podcast Network. Thanks for joining us today.
This podcast is brought to you by Schneider Electric, supporting Canadian businesses with innovative energy management and automation solutions. Schneider Electric, your digital partner for sustainability and efficiency.